Already 1 hour. What? No, not 1 hour. I mean 1 hour. Yes. Already 1 hour went through almost. No, slightly more than that actually.
All right, I think I just sent a request on Steam.
Let me see. Nothing showed here, but I will check. So what is your Steam name?
It should say Cloud.
Oh, Cloud. Yeah, honest. Okay. Okay, I'm in the game already. I sent your friend request so I can invite you to the custom game, and then if she wants, you can also invite her to the custom game, and we can start the game because basically we will need, or I will need, at least one to be the killer so we can even start the game in the first place. So then I can explain you how you are supposed to play this game as
Yeah, I'm
Ellie,
loading.
basically.
All right.
You should have received my invite already, Claude. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got it.
Sheesh, I miss those times. But I used to be like you.
Well, level 15.
No, I mean, I actually legit rank 18, few minutes of gameplay, that's it. That was so long ago, I was so young. Sheesh, it was 5 years ago.
All right, Allie, I'm gonna send you
playing this game.
Alright, yeah, I'm just loading up. Yeah, Cloud gifted me this game a couple of days ago, so.
Yeah, we're
This
like.
game is really, really cool. But what I can warn you is that the community is slightly toxic, so.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Especially for some reason you have any type of evidence or proof that you are, as you might suspect, a female, people just go crazy, including killers. Like killers can just see your profile even when you are on the lobby right now. And for example, let's say on a profile you got something like kawaii, woohoo, female gamer, blah blah, and that type of stuff. Killers will literally, like, how do I say this? Grief in a way that like just makes the gameplay the least enjoyable possible, which lower ranks I wouldn't say it's common, but the higher you go in the ranks, the more likely you'll have people that are just scum and just want to make the world burn.
That sounds about right.
This happens in this game a bit. Not too much, but just a bit. But yeah, this game is really fun with friends. With communication, you are able to play this game in a tremendously different way, which is you have information advantage, so you know where the killer should be at all times, especially if you are a full group of like 4 survivors. Like, oh, the killer's on me, guys, get on gens, and then everyone else is like, aye, captain, this will do gens. And it's basically a pattern of like switching targets, but everybody knows where the killer is, so everyone can like play the game kind of calmly, because there won't be no surprise factor, because we all know where the killer is. Okay, so now that everyone is here, I'll need one of you to go for the killer role, and the way that you do this is if you look to your bottom left buttons on your game, not the back or the settings one, I mean the slightly above those ones, where you have a button which is literally the symbol of an eye with like a red cross in a circle. So if you click on that twice, you switch from survivor to killer, and I need at least one of you, or only one of you, killer, so we can even start the game. So Cloud, you are the killer? Okay, let's go. I will change to a shorter map. Not really a big thing. You can ready up whenever. It doesn't matter the build, doesn't matter what you're bringing. Custom games, you have everything unlocked, everything infinite. You can even bring stuff just to mess around because you don't consume anything, so just put all of that stuff ready up and we are able to get into the game. But actually, unless I cancel it. Okay, I see that you are ready. Give me just a second. I'm trying to find a specific perk. Okay, good. Okay, so as you are suspecting or imagining, this game is not as simple as it can actually look like or be, but the way that I'm gonna do this session in actually with the main goal of like giving you the easier time learning the game, I'll put slightly more emphasis on the very, very, very basic stuff for you like to practice to become better with it. And then after that very, very basic stuff is mastered, it's only when we can go to the next part of the coaching. Because if you don't even understand the most basic concepts of the game, you won't be able to do like the most advanced mechanics. Like no way, like no shot, impossible. Unless one of you is like the next DBD prodigy. Who knows? Maybe you are, but we never know. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my screen share. Should be better for you to watch my screen share rather than going around and following me. Trust me, I say this with experience. So whenever you're ready to watch my screen share, when you're already watching, just let me know. Okay, Cloud joined. AllyC or AllyC, I don't know how do I say your name.
Yeah, it's whatever. Ally. Don't care.
Okay. Okay, so let me mute my game because terrorists won't really be a good thing. So the very first thing that I noticed, at least in Cloud's gameplay, because I wasn't able to see yours, but basically, if you are both beginner, you might know, I'm 100% sure you might have the same weaknesses, which is what to do in the game, what's your objective, how do you move, how do you loop, if you're planning on hiding, how do you actually hide, or how do you hide well, etc., etc. So the easier thing for me to explain to you what you are supposed to do versus what at least I saw Cloud doing is the way you move in this game. So Cloud has this habit of when he's moving, he presses W and then uses his mouse to like aim where he wants to go. This looks like it's not a big of a problem because it allows you to just be able to, I don't know, have more precision of your movement if you have like good mouse precision. But the problem is that you lose every single chance that you might have just be able to look behind you, see where the killer is, and then take a decision knowing where the killer is, so you don't get down too quickly because the killer mind gamed you, or you end up running towards the killer because you didn't even see him coming. So the very first thing you can already start practicing and understanding how you should be moving / playing this game is that you need one eye on yourself, another eye on the killer. Basically, at all stages of the game, unless like someone tells you like, oh, killer is on me, he's still on me, like he's not dropping me, then on that situation, then maybe you don't need an eye on the killer. But every other situation in the game, you need to not only be taking care of yourself, but to know where the killer is. This is insane. And how do you know where the killer is? It's not when you're running and you only see like in front of you. You're supposed to be running around, looking around you, and see where the killer is. And then when you see the killer, then when you are moving around and evading him, your objective is to already know where you are moving, but also looking at him to see if he's trying to do something to hit you or to prevent you from taking this decision. Then when he gets close enough, then we get into the looping part, which is slightly more advanced, but this is the very bare basics first. So again, when you're moving, try to not move like with your with only holding W, and then using your mouse to just compensate your movement, and then I don't know, move like this. So try to, while you're moving, to develop the habit of looking behind you without getting stuck on stuff, which is the hardest part, because when you're a beginner, you don't even know how to move at all. So to do this stuff, you need a lot of practice, which I can't really implement them into you. You kind of need to practice yourself. There's no like secret recipe or any secret trick to this. You just gotta practice until like you perfect it or until you polish it. Because you have multiple levels of actually doing this the way that you're supposed to. You can either be like extremely like pinpoint accuracy with like the flicks and like know where the killer is without breaking your movement, breaking any information, and just be able to move like I just did right here. Or the bare minimum that you need is just be unmoving, look at the killer, look where you're going. Okay, this is end zone, so I don't need to look over here because I won't be hitting anything. So now I look at the killer and I look where he could be coming from. And then you just move according to your movement. So again, another very basics, but if you're looking this way and if you press A, it goes like in the hook direction. But now if you look to this tree and if you press A, you're going to the logs direction. So your perspective changes, so does your inputs. So your inputs changes as well. In terms of like direction, not actually like inputs, but like perspective towards where you're going, basically. And that's one of the really basic things that you can already like start to work on when you're like moving to not just tunnel one spot and just move your mouse and do a specific movement. Even when you're playing stealth, you're supposed like when you're hiding, be able to see if your body is actually like hidden behind a structure, which right now like this clearly wouldn't be a good hiding spot, not only because of my hat, but I'm almost thicker than this tree. So for me, a good spot to hide would be like these blocks, for example, because I'm lower than the box. Killers probably can see the hat still, but if I wasn't using the hat, they could probably see me. I'm lower than the box, so I should be fine being here. And if you play survivors, especially females, since they are shorter, then this would actually work way better than male survivors. So even when you are playing stealth, it's way better to not only like keep one eye on yourself, but when you're already like, how do I say, position secured, then you want to make sure that you use your camera in a way that you have the most angles you can see through, so you don't get surprised by where the killer is coming. For example, right now, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 different angles where the killer can come from if I had zero information where he was. If I stay right here with this camera movement, I can see him coming from that side, this side, that side. If he even vaulted the window, or even behind me if I saw the red light. So staying on this spot will give me so many angles to see where the killer is coming from. That's just easy to avoid, because if the killer comes from that side, I'll just go around this wall and play around this wall. If the killer comes from that side, I mean, I'll probably do the same thing, but I'll double check if he's actually chasing me before walking around the wall. Or if I was here and if you took the window, since killers when they do animations, they are tremendously slower than survivors, with one single exception, Legion's power. But Legion is a kill that can't really kill against like good survivors. His power just stalls the game and nothing else really. So if you'll take the window, I'll just go around this wall, look at him while he's going, and hit this window and be on this loop infinitely until the window is either blocked or he forced me to not be able to do this rotation. But to try to keep things as basic as possible, because you clearly didn't even understand what I just said, like that at rotations and pathings and loopings, I will try to just keep most basic as possible. So whether you're using this movement of one eye on the one eye on the killer, one thing that you can use for practice and mnemonic, I guess, is to know which objects are like straight line. So you can do this little trick, which helps you being slightly more consistent with moving efficiently, which is whether you're moving alongside the structure, you move diagonally into it. So something like this, see? See how I'm moving like diagonally into the wall?
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly the same as me moving in a straight line, because the movement speed is exactly the same. But moving this diagonally, in diagonal, basically forces the game, I'm forcing the game for my character to be moving with the least distance waste possible, so I'm able to do multiple laps around track and not only one, for example. So knowing how to move without like going super wide like Mr. Cloud was doing, something like this, it was going around the structures, and it was like super far away, like something like this, and you go to a structure, you'll see the pallet, you'll just turn back all the way around, etc. So just try to get used to this, because this is the thing that at lower ranks, only this will allow you to survive like at least twice as longer than anything else I'm going to coach you on today, even if it's really basic as just walking while hugging walls, because if you're playing against beginner killers that don't actually move the same way you're moving, you actually how to run them. For example, I want to show you an example on how effective or how much time you can improve by moving effectively or moving just wide. So I'm going to stay on this door frame. I'm going to do a full lap around shank. You will see how much time it will take. So stay right here, align with the door frame. So 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10, or like really close to 10. Now, what if you were to be moving efficiently? How much time will it really take? Let's see. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was stuck there with like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I didn't got stuck in that little metal board around that direction, it will be literally a full second optimization. And this was a long rotation, keep that in mind, which means it was a super long path that basically you'll never loop a killer like with this big path unless you're talking about main buildings. Which means that if we were to do this efficient movement at the structure, See how fast I will do like a lap around this structure with efficient movement versus beginner's movement. So just getting this right and just being consistent at this already like speeds up the process of you being trying to faster doing basically anything in this game. Doesn't matter if it's decision making wise, doesn't matter if it's objective looping, altruistic, doesn't really matter. The moment that you are faster getting from one spot to the other, you're basically being the most useful as possible because you got there before any other survivor, which then allowed you to either get to the hook save first or to kill that survivor sooner than the others, etc. So it doesn't matter what. I'm saying hums too many times again. Fuck. Anyway, oh god, I'm so exhausted. But yeah, for the moment, that's basically it. There's no more like blabbering about that because it's basically just that. Now the other beginner thing that I can show you that can already benefit you tremendously in just playing the game, even though it sounds kind of vague and weird. Even though the game you literally have a killer chasing you, that doesn't mean you should react before thinking. This is a really common mistake, even inside the group of like experienced survivors, because if they just get surprised with X situation happening or Z situation happening, if you are like really that experienced, you know like what's the answer to solve X and solve Z. However, when you're a beginner, you don't even know where you're going, you don't even know what you should do. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So you're playing the game, you spawn, you're moving around the map, you look around you, which is something you never did with your camera, Mr. Cloud, but you will start to do it now because you will improve. So you'll be looking around you and you're like, okay, I see a generator there because I just saw the plates shining on top of it. So you just come here and you do the gen. While you're doing the gen, you're not doing the gen with a camera like this. No, this is grief. This is allowing the killer to have a free hit on us with no real like counterplay. So what we should be doing is to look around us like as much as possible, so we reduce the chances of we being sneaked by the killer and giving them a free hit by or a free down even by literally nothing. Just by him playing good, because we're not looking around us to see like where the killer actually is. So again, developing the habit of just looking around you, being aware of your surroundings, doesn't only help to avoid the kill, but also helps you knowing what you should do if, like I said before, the different situations occur. So for example, I'm doing the gen right now. Let's assume Leon was like a killer and he was coming like through those loops. Since I looked around me, I know that this area is a whole dead zone, so I'll have to go towards this dead zone to reach that structure over there, which is too far, which would mean that, okay, I'm not able to do that in any way, shape, or form. But if I look with slightly more caution around me, I see that I have Shack with the window towards my side, which means that I can now clearly go past the logs, straight into Shack, make me fast vault, look what the killer is doing, then based on what he does, you take a decision, so you position yourself in a way that you can see the most as possible. And now, option 1, killer vaults the window. What you do if the killer vaults the window? Okay, you just go around the wall, because killer animations are super slower compared to survivors. Then you could either take this window, or depending on what he does, you just change next. Now, for example, same spot, different situation. So you are here, you see the killer going through the window, and this window will catch you like on this side. What you do, you just run towards the direction possible. If he's still chasing you, which you only know if you are looking behind you while you're moving, and if he's actually planning on full-on chasing you this far deep the shack, you just last mount this window, and now you are back to the beginning again. Will he chase through the window? Will he go backwards in this wall? Will he go over there? Let's assume, for the sake of making things simple, he'll go towards that through that door. So he goes through that door. What we do? We go all the way around. We look through the barricade window, and we watch the window. He goes through the main doors. If we move effectively, we have more than time to do this whole one, then take the window and be safe. So when you are a survivor, long story short, the only way you can really loop a killer It's by using structures the way they are supposed to. Doesn't matter if it's a pallet structure only, doesn't matter if it's a window structure only, doesn't matter if it's a both pallet and window structure. The way that you play them is basically different, so you need to know how to do or what you should do in different situations to then know what you should do. And this can also change, by the way, with different kills that you're playing against, which is way harder. I don't coach on basic package, but basically the way that you play against the Trapper is not the same that you play against Nemesis, it's not the same you play against Hunter, it's not the same that you play against Trickster, for example. Traumatos are different, and you can imagine how. They attack from far away, so you can do something else to avoid those far away attacks, etc, etc. So picking an example back where you were moving around the map and you saw a Trapper to your left and you decide to go to main building. So we are not on the same map, but the gimmick is basically the same. So we were around here, Trapper was like around that area, so we went into main building, we went like all the way around it, and our plan was just to leave the main building, which is a new one, so the electric here. Let's imagine I did the whole map around it. He was to come here, and the kill would just appear in front of him. Because he would predict that I would not actually do anything crazy with my movement, because I didn't see where he was even coming, so I assumed he was behind me. So I just ran a straight line without even thinking what he was. Which then there's a possibility he might actually shortcut you on going towards that side into here, and then you already lost huge value on your chase, because it's already doomed because you gave the first hit for the kill for free for no reason. However, what you should be doing with now what I explained you before and how do you apply it, is that the moment you see the Trapper on that side, going through that side, and you're planning on playing the main building, you need to have two things in the back of your mind, always reminding you and poking you every single second to see if these conditions are met, to then be able to take the right decision. So for example, let's assume Trapper actually commits to me until I'm unable to see him again. So I'm looking all the way, I'm looking, okay. It decides not to chase me, it decides to go all the way around, okay. What is he doing? I just run back, and if he gets to the win and he faults it, I'll just run the reverse way, and he's not gonna catch me, simple as that. Now what if he actually chased me, like, until the window? So I'll just run, press space out the window, then get some distance to see what will he do, if he'll walk the window, if he'll break the barricaded door, or if he'll break his door, depending on what he does, like check what I'm standing. Like I said, I can see these three things at the same time. So if he does one situation, I know what I need to do. If he does the second one, I also know what I need to do next. And if he even chooses the only barricaded door, I know what I have to run. So for example, if he breaks that door, I'll be moving this way. If he breaks that door, I'll move this way. If he takes this window, I'm planning on moving this way, because you won't have anything to get through on that other side of the main building, unless you have a filler pod, but that's basically it. If you have it. Let me see. Yeah, you don't, so this is a bare minimum that like you gotta adapt and know how to do, because if you know what the killer is doing, and if you know what yourself like you are doing at all, then how can you take the good decision? How can you even look a killer since you don't even know what you should be doing? The first step to even know what you are doing is to know what the killer is doing, so you can counterplay it, and it's not that hard to understand how the counterplay works. This is a cat and mouse game, which means if you are faster as a survivor doing these things, you're gonna prioritize doing these things, forcing the killer to if he wants to chase you while doing those things, he'll be slower to catch you. For example, just so you can understand, I don't know if you even played killer ever in the past or not, Cloud, but let's have a little chase, and I will explain to you like how this will go.
You want me to chase?
Yeah, just chase me like straight.
Alright.
And you will see like what I mean. Whenever you're ready, just
Just gotta pull up my game because I have the Discord. Alright.
Just to me what chasing. So you as a killer, you move faster than me. So if I keep on just walking, this fault was dropped. Yeah, you can keep it. But anyway, if I just keep walking without taking any interaction, doesn't matter like how efficiently I move, there will be a moment where you will catch me just because you're like way faster than me. That moment is...
I'm so bad.
Okay, never mind, I actually catched you. I'm behind you.
Oh.
But again, let's just walk in a straight line just to be even easier to explain. So if you walk line to side, you see like how fast you are to me. So clearly, looking at killer by just running is not like the right idea, because in 10 seconds or even less, the kill gap closes the distance that he has within you super fast, and especially if it goes away those 14 seconds that I explained you before, bloodlust starts to be a thing, so now you are even faster than what you're supposed to be, and you're even getting close faster than what you are supposed to be. So clearly just running isn't like the solution for you to loop a kill. However, what is the solution to loop a kill? Like I said before, Survivor's doing animations, it's really fast and kills animations. So me taking this window and going next, like see how much longer you take taking that window. And then what I want to do is just to combine a lot of different movements that basically prioritizes on taking these animations. So in case you do them as well to chase me, I'll be winning a little bit of distance every time you go towards one of those. And then it's just me chaining these animations back and forward until I have to drop a pallet because of bloodlust and you weren't able to catch me. So right now, we'll go to the window, still keep on going. Still on going, I take this one again, I do fancy back to back, but it doesn't matter much because I get to this pallet every day of the week. So now you get stunned, there's no more bloodlust, I'm not enough sight to actually keep on moving to you to benefit the pallet, so it's my time to go. Now, after breaking the pallet, since you were stuck in a long animation, I have this whole distance to work with, so I just take this fastball and we go back to the same plan again. So I want to force you to go through as much animations as possible, so I'm able to win a little bit of distance each time you go towards one of these. So you either do something else to counter this, or if you just keep on doing this, you will be here for quite some time. But I will change the path just to make things simpler. So let's assume you will actually get close, and I'll have to use the pallet. So pallets, if in case you have to understand how they work, you press space when you are like near it, you drop it. If the killer is somewhat close, you stun them. This stun doesn't only force them to be like stunned and so still for like a period of time, but also breaks any type of like channel animations and or bloodlust, which means that let's assume you were chasing me for like 52 seconds actually. So 52 seconds is the time it takes for you to get bloodlust 3. Let's assume that after all that time of you getting that bloodlust, you have the unlucky of getting stunned. If you need bloodlust to catch me, because either your killer is good or the decision you're running the greatest, you need to stack that bloodlust all over again to even get anywhere like close to me. Which, as you can imagine, the priority that you want to have as a survivor just to force as many animations as possible, because you are faster, kill is slower, so the more you go towards one of these, the longer you are looping. Now I could add a little bit of spice into this to whirl around here. And you probably lost. Okay, you're there, it's fine. Now I take the window, I go like another lap around it. And now I can even do another lap around this wall, even though the window is blocked. I can. Oh, you actually went out the wall. Okay, it's fine. Still, can do one more lap before I'm forced to use the pallet. And now we go back to step 1. So I get my distance, you have to break the pallet. And now you need to get close, stack your ballast, and or not. So I'm going to another structure, we do exactly the same thing, spamming you to be doing as much animations as possible. And be slightly slower than me. And then doesn't matter like what happens. If I just have you in the back, in the palm of my hand, knowing like what you can do, what you can't do, and just predict, look at you, like see what you're doing, to take the good decision. Like see how easy it is, just to depending on like what you're doing, take the right decision. Like I'm seeing you at all times. This is the bare minimum you need to even be considered a slightly like decent survivor. To actually be able to look at yourself, look at the killer, so it doesn't matter what's going on, you can always guess, right. That's no fault. And then we could do exactly the same to this wall. Again, I see it actually still chasing me, even going back to back, it's fine. Probably means we're going back to back in here as well. Which means I take this vault, you vault behind me, it's fine, both windows are blocked. Now I can just go to this one. And this is arguably one of the best combo loops that the game has to offer actually, so this is not even fair. Not even for you, but not for everyone really. But as you can see, you are taking some time to even like get close to me. It doesn't matter what of mind games you do against me, those will be kinda necessary. But again, even if you ended up To your left, left, behind.
Oh.
Okay. So even if this was a thing and you'll get close to me, then I'll reach this structure. Now we are back at the step where even if you had bloodlust, which you don't because you just lost chase by mistake, I could still walk around this like many laps because I can see where you are, and the game just lagged me back. I don't know what was that. Anyway, and then we are back to the same step, the very first one when the initialized chase. And now basically looping or playing the game is basically this, but on repeat for any time you're playing as any killer. However, different killers have different ways of actually closing to the survivor, or others just damaging like from far away even, which it's even I'm on the way to here. Yes. So this is bullying. Anyway, anyway. Okay, so basically what's happening is that when you're vaulting the window, I'm doing one specific mechanic that allows me to get inside of your body. So what you see for the very last moments of you vaulting the window, that you see me going to the left, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the left because I saw him move to the left. But I actually went back, or out of your perspective range, I went into your body, crouched at the right time to be inside of your body, so you run literally through me and didn't even notice that I was here. I kind of failed the first and the second time I did that, but you already get the idea. Anyway,
Pretty legit.
yeah, you have a lot of ways to just mess around with the killer, because the killer plays the game in first person. Travis plays in third person, so already Travis have a big advantage only in this parameter of vision wise, and that's how the game is supposed to be balanced according to the developers. So your objective is to use as much as this vision or third person advantage compared to the first person objective of the first person perspective of the kill, because I know like what you can see based on like where you're looking. However, me, you can tell that I'm looking behind you, but you don't see exactly. Like if I could see above like a wall or anything, see like where you are, I'd still be like looping and looping and looping, as you can see like right now. Because even if you try to do like anything somewhat differently, I could just watch you do that thing differently, react to it, want to play it, and then it will be looping on and on and on. So what I ask you, or what I want to clarify while I was explaining all of this, is that you are so new to the game that you actually just need to work on these very basic mechanics before you can even take any profit of what I have to offer in the most advanced part of this coaching. Because if you don't even get these concepts like mastered or like understood, you can't really do much even if I give you all of the rest. So what we can do now is that I could try your fast learning abilities, and I'm gonna leave the match and I'll ask you for you to both do as well.
Okay.
So now I can be the killer and just like watching how do you move, and then I'll tell if it's already way better than what I saw in the gameplay review, or if there's still some little bit of improvement to do. But now just click on that button again, Cloud, to change it back to Survivor. And then with that, we can start. So make sure to click on the bottom left part of the screen to change it back to Survivor, which is only one click above the store button, which is unclickable because we are in a custom game. Wait, are you in the lobby yet, or you just looked?
I'm still leaving. It's loading for me.
Oh, so